Yo-yos are without a doubt the weakest subclass in Terraria, let alone Calamity Infernum. So I collected every single one of them, Vanilla and Calamity, and beat the entire game using them as my only weapons. To make this challenge more interesting, I've made a list of every yo-yo from beginning to end in progression order, and my goal is to try and collect every yo-yo in that order without skipping any. I'll also be fighting as many bosses as possible, except the bad ones, to truly put these yo-yos to the test. Are yo-yos a subclass that should never be touched, or could they be viable with enough skill? Let's get collecting. So, let's start with the first yo-yo, the wooden yo-yo. You know what they say, the first one's always free, with the wooden yo-yo being no exception, literally requiring wood, and cobwebs which I found in a cave. 14 cobwebs, I'm close. There we go, that should do it. And with that, I craft my first weapon, which fortunately is beyond easy to get. It definitely isn't great, and I'd say it controls more like flying a kite, but it can damage and kill enemies, allowing us to get the second yo-yo, the rally. But what if I told you I can make the wooden yo-yo more effective? I'm not even kidding, this technique carries until you get, like, the mid-hard mode yo-yos that start shooting projectiles. By spamming left click at point blank range, I can hit enemies constantly, giving me an actual fighting chance against Eater of Souls, and with a bit of finesse, allowing me to cross the corruption. If I'm fast enough. Look at that! You might be wondering, why am I going to the corruption when the rally drops some underground enemies? Well, I wanted to set up my base in the snow biome. I just thought it would be cool, you know, like, who actually does that? Got him. After arriving at the snow biome, I camped in the abandoned house till sunrise, then renovated the place. This base is still an ongoing project, but after building 2 NPC houses, I decided to call it a day and go on my first caving trip. The rally is a yo-yo nobody really goes out of their way for, dropping from giant shellies, salamanders, and crawdads at a 6.5% chance. Whereas, while being much more difficult and involved, the Amazon can be crafted from jungle materials and deals much more damage. Pretty early on, I stumbled upon a glowing mushroom biome, which is the perfect place to farm the rally. Shadow Orb, so I can get Arms Dealer, so I can get free pylons. I teleported back home again to put away my loot, got carried away expanding the house, then went and terraformed the mushroom biome to make it a more viable spot to farm. The enemies I needed were still few and far between, but I was able to take them out fairly easily. Target eliminated, so it was really just a matter of time. Oh no, he knocked me into the pool. I didn't want to get wet today, but... And there we go, there's the rally. The second yo-yo. So there we go, now we can do even more damage. Oh yeah, this is good. I feel so much more powerful. I think any weapon at this point could have been better than the wooden yo-yo, with the rally being absolutely no exception, dealing twice the base damage. That one took a while to get, but luckily the next two are much more simple, and I already have the means to get them. With a gold pickaxe or higher, Demonite and Crimtane ore can be mined underground, allowing me to craft both the melees and the artery. Death Wish, baby! Oh! You may be wondering, how am I going to get Crimtane ore in a corruption world? Well, I encourage you to be inquisitive. Think about the different structures Calamity adds. There we go, Demonite. Spotted. I just have to dig my way over there. That's more than enough, Demonite. Wow, dungeon is right there. Oh, that's the... wow, that is the... archive. If I set up a mushroom pylon here, that is effortless access to the archive. Now having scrounged up enough Demonite for 15 bars, I make the melees, the third yo-yo. And now I can make the melees. I also renovated my house even further, adding a yo-yo showcase section to the bottom floor. After getting carried away building again and landscaping the snow biome, I added another bottom floor to put Draden power salt factories in. But you're probably waiting to find out how I get the artery without world hopping or Fargo's mod, or just waiting to see if you got your answer right. On the jungle side of the world, Calamity adds a special floating island corresponding to the opposite of your world's generated evil. In layman's terms, a corrupt world gives you a Crimson Island, and this island spawns with Crimson ore. So all I have to do is get to the island, mine the ore, and I'm going the wrong way. A part of me thought the island spawned on the dungeon side, but either way, I took this opportunity to build a sulfurous sea pylon. Perfect, Jamal. Wait, don't die. This time, going in the right direction, I happened upon a few sky islands, finding a shiny red balloon. Perfect, shiny red balloon. Eventually, after my final 2 grav pots ran out, I made it all the way to the jungle where the island should spawn, yet I still hadn't seen it. So I went on another half an hour long tangent, building a jungle pylon, then constructing a stairway to heaven for the remaining portion of the world to try and find the darn thing. Got what the set bonus of this is, grappling hooks. That's right. Oh, that is really good. So I was banking on the fact that the island would be further out horizontally, thus I bridged all the way to the right side of the world. Another chance to get fledgling wings. And I get a second celestial magnet. Surely I'm close to it. So I'm close to the edge of the map. Or maybe the island could be below here, who knows. I did a quick sweep of the lower regions of the sky, yet still found absolutely nothing, so taking a chat member's advice, I was gonna go higher. Oh? Oh no, that's just a sky lake. And there we go. This is the evil island I've been looking for 48 minutes now. As soon as I stepped foot on this heavenly island, I knew that the artery was already ours. I may as well collect all the ore, because I could sell it for money. I think that's all of it. I can make the Crimtane bars. And now I can make the artery. My 4th yo-yo. Same reforge as the Malays. I may be misremembering here, or it could be a vanilla thing, but I remember the artery having slightly different stats to the Malays. However, in Calamity, they're both exactly the same. Me personally, I think the Malays looks cooler, but for convenience sake, I made a second artery, then put the first one and the Malays in my yo-yo collection. Then I finally did the grand item migration and crafted magic storage. Oh, I didn't know I could make all of these. I'll take a sandstorm in a bowl. That was a nice chill intermission, but screw that, let's get back to yo-yos, our next target being the Amazon. Which will be especially easy now, having set up the jungle pylon earlier. Hermes boots, okay, that's huge. Now we are sorted for accessories. We can take on a boss as soon as we get the Amazon. The Amazon just requires basic jungle materials, which are very easily farmable with our artery. Ancient cobalt helmet. So within a short 10 minutes, I have everything I need for the Amazon. The Amazon, beautiful. Wait, actually... Okay, I'm not gonna use the Amazon actually. The artery does more damage. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the artery. I didn't think Amazon would be this bad. It doesn't say anything about poisoning enemies either. Which if it did, then it would make it good enough to use, but it doesn't. Surprisingly enough, Calamity nerfs the Amazon to make it worse than the artery and the Malays. I never gave it a try, so it could have a hidden poison effect for all I know, but I just stuck with the artery for now. Moving on, the Amazon is the last pre-boss yo-yo we can get, so for my next one I'll have to beat the Desert Scourge. Just like I'm not skipping any yo-yos, I also didn't want to skip any bosses where possible, so I'll be fighting the King Slime first. I spent a short while landscaping my snow biome again to make a semi-King Slime arena. That's going to take a long while to clear out, so I think I'm just going to fight King Slime here. You know, I've got a good enough space, good mobility, sandstorm the bottle. I won't commentate too much over this fight because I want you to sit back and enjoy the King Slime incident of July 12th. This is doing no damage. Yo-yos really do suck. Like, I remember them being pretty stinky, but it took that long to get him down 1000 health. Perfect. Okay, Sandstorm actually makes me go faster. Oh no! I'm getting low. What?! go to space? Oh, please come back. I've come so far. Let me regen a little bit. Oh no, he's back. Seems to be having trouble. He's stuck in a block. This is slightly problematic. There he goes. A little bit of encouragement. And that gave me time to get my heal off. And now I've just got to run, because ninja. Oh, I messed up. No, I'm good. Aw, shame. Let me jump over you. Perfect. Alright, ninja's out. Now I just need to run and pray. This is bad. Oh no. Ah! With those last two attempts seemingly ending because of my terrain, I had chomped the bullet and cleared out that section of the tundra. That's massive. Go! Where's the ninja? No! No, 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 no. Shit, okay. You stop teleporting every 5 seconds, man? It's the exact same situation as last time. Fuck! This guy does not stop. I have to get so techie with these dodges. I'm just gonna run across the entire world. I've got a feather fall, so I can just fly. Basically. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Shit, okay, I had it. I've got one more feather fall. Ah, so if you stay on top of him, he doesn't... So what are you doing? Oh no. No! 26 health! Oh my... Fuck! Screw it, I'm gonna do the funny. There we go, that's King Slime. That's so goofy. That's so dumb. Can I get Slimy Saddle? Shit. That was an eventful first boss fight, let's just say that. And in the midst of all that chaos, a goblin army pulled up. So I decided to cool off and completely obliterate them. Now, leaving that fight in the past, our next primary objective is to fight the Desert Scourge. So I set up a pylon in the desert, then proceed to transform said desert into a Minecraft super flat world. I don't expect the Scourge to be nearly as hard as King Slime, but I thought why not set up an arena since I could use it for the Eye of Cthulhu too. Then I went to the underground desert to gather the materials for the desert medallion. Or at least I plan to, since I found it in the very first desert chest I opened. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Took me a second to register. Desert medallion, sweet, okay. Now anyways, let's first try Desert Scourge. Damage is going to be terrible. Wait, no, damage is good, because it can hit, like, multiple segments. Holy, the launch. Whenever I use Hook with the tungsten armor. It's too much. I'm not used to it. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I need to switch my armor sets. The tungsten armor does have a cool set bonus, but having a functionally pre-hard mode bobbit hook is just not for me. So I upgrade to the platinum armor, giving me 10% damage reduction on top of more defense. Being able to glide through all the segments like stroking a lizard made the artery a lot better against the Scourge compared to the King Slime. I mean, what piercing weapon doesn't just completely melt the Scourge? But the fact I was dealing this much DPS with a Yoyo was kind of insane. Interest was quickly lost. Those were some clean dodges, I've got to say. Well, this attack that he rarely ever does. There's no way I can get above those tornadoes. You're dead though. Oh, please don't. Oh, come on. Fight's taken so long he's got to the attack where he spawns vultures. That's how you know you've got a long... No! There we go. A long Desert Scourge fight. The Scourge's treasure bag drops absolutely nothing for us in this run, but what's really important is that we now have access to the 6th Yoyo. Guess I'll go for Victide melee armor. Platinum armor is probably more tanky, but Victide is cool, I like it, so I'm gonna make it. And I'll make all the tools as well, because I like— Yes! Yes! Flying Carpet! Flying Carpet movement tech early game is so underrated. After crafting my sweet Flying Carpet and quote-unquote upgrading my armor into the Victide melee set, I head off to the Sunken Sea. The 6th Yoyo, the Riptide, requires Navy Stone and Sea Prisms from the Sunken Sea, and also happens to be the first Yoyo that can shoot out projectiles, which will likely be invaluable against the Eye of Cthulhu, considering our lack of range. Damn, come on potential, man. You had so much potential, but you just had to waste it all. There we go, we got some good houses. The goblin will move back in soon enough. I'd collected more than enough materials for the Riptide at this point, so I was just waiting for NPCs to move in so I could buy the pylon. Perfect. Alright, let's attempt Giant Clam. I don't think I'm gonna beat him, but... After returning home and realizing that the Riptide needs more Pearl Shards, I fight the Desert Scourge once more. Oh, you went right on top of me. With all those side quests out of the way, I can finally craft my 6th Yoyo, the Riptide. Only 12 damage? This thing better be good. I'll try Eye of Cthulhu. Don't need no Reforge. Let's do it. Oh, that's... okay, that's pretty good. Just kind of fires them out sporadically everywhere. Works for me, that is more damage than the artery. Although the artery might be situational. As I foresaw, the Riptide's projectiles helped out quite a lot with hitting the Eye of Cthulhu, but we were still in for a long fight. There's a reason why you don't see Yoyos used very much. They suck. So I guess I switch to artery when I'm close range. But if he's going all over the show, then use this. Infernum Eye of Cthulhu isn't exactly a threatening boss, but the one main issue here is the fact that I might not be able to beat him before it becomes daytime. Yeah, looks like it's daytime. No, never mind, the stars are still there. Oh no, why am I throwing? I died of full damage. Just like many times with King Slime, I decided to completely throw at the end, and with the sun on the horizon, I had to pursue other things. I sold a ton of useless weapons, giving me enough money to buy the Tinkerer's Workshop and the rocket boots. Then, seeing that all I needed for the Anklet of the Wind was 15 jungle spores, I crafted Spectre boots, then went to the jungle to gather those jungle spores. I guess Shield of the Ocean, that's a solid accessory. No! Oh. I went to Or Excavate and pressed right click. Anyways, I can make Anklet of the Wind now. Which means, in other words, I can make the lightning boots. Now being midday, I decided to get my final 2 life crystals to max out my health. Perfect. Freak Bob? Oh. It's a skeleton merchant. Wait, that's good, I can buy a counterweight. After maxing out my life, I also found my good old chum Freak Bob, allowing me to buy the counterweight for later on the Yoyo glove. Red counterweight. Now for my final side quest with nighttime rapidly approaching, I decided to fight King Slime again since I didn't get the slimy saddle on my first attempt. Yeah, look at that, 87 DPS. Oh, we're cooking now. There we go. I've never actually used Chill It, by the way. I've heard so many people glaze it, but I've never tried the thing myself. So now having a slimy saddle, maxed out life, a godly Riptide, and lightning boots, I am so prepared for the Eye of Cthulhu, I couldn't be more prepared. In fact, me and Prepared go way back. When I first met Prepared, I knew exactly what I was going to say to him. In fact, I had my lines written out on a script. Waffling aside, these upgrades helped immensely with the Eye of Cthulhu, and to no one's surprise, I took him out. There you go. Okay, that's the Eye of Cthulhu. In the majority of Calamity playthroughs, the Eye of Cthulhu is more of a filler boss, a taster for what's yet to come. However, in this run, he's actually a prerequisite for my next 7th Yoyo. The Code 1, bought from the Travelling Merchant post Eye of Cthulhu, is our 7th Yoyo. I said prior in this video that I'll be collecting every Yoyo in their supposed order with no skips. However, after 2.5 hours of fishing, sleeping, and waiting for Travelling Merchants, I gave up because this is not fun. The Code 1, in terms of power, could rival the Artery, but it still wouldn't compare to the functionality of the Riptide, meaning that all of this grind would be solely to increment a single number. So, in the name of fun, or in other words, not being bored out of my mind, I'll be skipping the Code 1, and all the other tedious Yoyos. I'll be picking those up naturally as they come around, as I don't see a reason to halt boss progression for them. The next actual Yoyo upgrade comes post Eater of Worlds, but I won't spoil it because it's a pretty interesting weapon. With Grabulon's hitbox being comparable to a wardrobe, I was able to use the funny Yoyo tech on him, but even that couldn't even compare to some other weapons I've used in the past. Forgot about these guys. Okay, I might have to switch to this then. Use it a bit like here, but I need to take these guys out. This isn't as effective as I would have thought. Like, this is still a normal Crabulon fight, in terms of damage. This is taking so long. I just realized I still have my mining accessory on. Well, there we go, that's Crabulon. That was so goofy. With Grabulon being as free as ever, I take my Rage upgrade and run over to the Corruption for the next boss. Corruption Effigy. Epic. Okay, now time for Worm for real. Let's go. You may be wondering why I'm playing Dog's theme over a pre-hard mode boss fight. Well, with Yoyos, this fight isn't too dissimilar from the Devourer of Gods. This is gonna take so long. Oh no, what have I got myself into? I think I need the Magma Stone for this. If he isn't immune to that debuff. I could have threw dandelions and leaves at this guy and dealt more or less the same DPS. It's halfway, so that's not too bad, it's doable, but I've just got to really be at the top of my game. The problem with Eater of Worlds is that he's not designed to be an endurance fight, rather a more intensive one that you can beat in under a minute with good weapons. I've never seen him do these attacks before. However, getting him past the first phase alone took me nearly 2 minutes, and from here on out, the fight only gets more and more chaotic. Yeah, this is bad. Real shit. Damn. Tight dodging. Got him, there we go. This is gonna take even... This won't be as long, but this will be a lot harder. This is just pure chaos. But when he does the easy attacks though, it's not all bad. Except I'm getting cooked right now. Enough of this, there we go. I got this guy. He's doing all the easy attacks now. Yeah, he's done. I'm surprised. There you go. I cooked on that attempt, holy. I don't think I've ever spent more than 90 seconds on this fight, so I've got to say, most of these attacks were new to me. Not so much luck, because I was popping off there, but he was just doing all his easy attacks. Now with the Eater of Worlds done, I not only have access to a myriad of upgrades, but also that Yoyo I mentioned, so let's get into that. There it goes. There's the meteorite. Okay, so it has to be here, otherwise... There we go. Perfect. Found the beautiful thing. The Smoking Comet, our 8th Yoyo, is made from an assortment of gems and meteorite bars. The first thing to note is that it's big, and the second thing is that it shoots falling stars. The caverns aren't the best place to test the thing, but I needed to mine hellstone anyway, so I took the thing with me. Time to go crazy mode. Within about 2 minutes of mining, I already had enough hellstone for an entire playthrough. So I upgraded to molten armor, set up the cracks pylon, and with that I was ready for my next boss, the perforators. Now, why would I do the perforator specifically? Well, they have an exclusive Yoyo drop which the hive mind doesn't, so for convenience sake, I made a new world, set up an arena in the Crimson, then got right down to business. Well, that's certainly the arena of all time, I'll use that. I'd like to remind you that the last time I fought this boss in Infernum was when I no-hit the guy about a year ago. Yeah, I'm starting to remember how annoying you were to no-hit. My memories of the fight would quickly resurface though with each new attack the hive performed, so I got into a rhythm fairly quickly. But if one thing's for sure, my DPS of the Smoking Comet is straight cheeks. That's right, this is where it gets hard, because the worms shoot stuff and he's like... the hive is on you. For a no-hit this was hard, but this is a yes hit. This is gonna take so long. Got him. I'll ride this. That ended quite a few attempts in the past. Combined with me not being able to hit the boss consistently, the Smoking Comet just had poor DPS overall, so it was a lose-lose situation. I was tanky with my molten armor, but getting to the second worm alone took me upwards of 3 minutes. You know, this boss is starting to grow on me. It's definitely a lot more fun yes-hitting it than no-hitting it. If you go directly under them, you're safe, I think? Yeah. At least you're doing the easy attack again. Next one. Okay, I don't know what you do for this one. That's right, it's this one. This one used to be pretty hard. He sure likes to get very close to you. I nearly got him, wow. Over halfway down. Now it's like desperation, I think. I'm the annoying voice inside your head, but I'd like you to know that this fight has been going on for 7 minutes now. Please don't die. Come on. I can just heal a bit more. That's really bad. Shit. What am I actually meant to do? 7-minute fight. 7 minutes. I knew I'd have this on the second attempt, but I wanted to make absolutely sure I'd win. So I spent an entire 15 minutes sweeping the jungle for a sharpening station, which would give me a slight boost to my damage. In fact, there's a Vernal Pass. I didn't even mean to find that, but... oh shit, you're right. Took a few buff potions and a heart lantern, then went directly into round 2. Or just coil the worm, like that. Perfect, now final phase. Where I died last time, because of that one really hard attack. I think it was the one right now, yeah. That's easy enough, you just gotta be really fast. And then you're golden, and now he's dead. Alright, not a bad fight, not bad. I'd finally bested the perforators with a 6 minute and 28 second fight, but I forgot to consider one thing. There's only a chance to get the Yoyo. So you know what that means. The worst thing about these long boss fights is that every loss is so disheartening. You've climbed so far just to fall from such a height. But luckily the perforators are easy though, so I got them on my very next attempt. Chances are I will. Perfect. And now I can leave. Look at that. 26 damage. 41 damage. Doesn't even compare. I finally got my 9th Yoyo and I was feeling all jolly and gleeful, but the 10th lies right ahead of us, so let's get right to that. Wait, hold on, this is good for King Slime. Our 10th Yoyo, the air spinner, is made from aerialite bars, so I'll be needing to fight a hive mind in our main world, which luckily is the lesser of two evils. What I mean by that is that Infernum Hivemind is easy enough to be a pre-boss fight, not to mention the fact that we have a post-perforator's Yoyo. Insane damage. So for once, even if it's slightly cheating, I actually felt some semblance of power in this run. Perfect. Oh, that was bound to be easy. With the Hivemind dropping nothing useful, I get straight to mining area Lite, taking out the occasional harpy when I see them. Then craft my 10th Yoyo, the air spinner. We've come so far already. Yeah, that is better. 220 damage per second. About 180, 170 I was seeing there. Okay, well, air spinner is definitely the winner. After conducting a quick King Slime test, we established that the air spinner is superior. I then shimmer my new favourite item in the game, the Aether Monolith, and since I'm in the vicinity, mine over to the Profane Guardian to get the Wayfinder to make my life slightly easier. So now with these slightly more mundane tasks out of the way, I craft a campfire and a heart lantern to bring with me to the jungle, since for my 11th Yoyo we need to fight Queen Bee. And there we go, there's like the ideal, perfect, peak performance jungle arena. I cleared out an arena in the Vernal Pass now, so I wouldn't have to worry about it when I fight Plantera or the Plaguebringer Goliath, and also because I couldn't find the big hive for some reason. I guess I just got unlucky because I've explored basically the whole jungle at this point. But anyways, defeating Queen Bee is how we get this 11th Yoyo, so let's focus on that. Very spacious in the Vernal Pass, so it's actually a lot easier. The fact this is actually a good Yoyo, yet Queen Bee is still taking forever. Although she is pretty tanky in Infernum. Okay, now for this attack, the hard one. That's fine though, I've got the strat down. AKA going up and down. Stinger! Going up and down. And then she does that, which is like... Then the easy one. That's nice. That was cheap. The air spinner has the very unique effect of firing out non-piercing feathers towards its target, which does a bit of damage, but most of the time they miss because Queen Bee is too fast. So all things considered, Queen Bee is not an ideal boss for this Yoyo, let alone any Yoyo. In fact, what Yoyo is even ideal for any boss? I did it. She's fast. Man, Queen Bee is actually kinda hard in Infernum. Got ya. You're done. But luckily, I'm the undisputed underdog, so I pull through. Kinda surprised I first tried that, but damn. Luckily, our 11th Yoyo is a breeze to obtain, being crafted directly with the beeswax that Queen Bee drops. In terms of its actual effect, it summons bees on hit, much like the Beekeeper. It's good. Not like... I guess it's on par with the air spinner, but you have to actually hit the boss for the projectile to come out, and air spinner does more DPS anyways. Once again, the air spinner comes out on top, so I relegate my high five to the collection, then move on to the 12th and 13th Yoyo. Make it look very atmospheric and fun. Why are you completely invisible? Never mind, you're not. As for why the two are lumped together, you'll find out soon enough, but either way, Skeletron is a prerequisite for both. And remember not 2 minutes ago when I said Yoyos aren't suited for any boss fight? Well, looks like Skeletron is the perfect matchup for the air spinner. For the majority of the fight, Skeletron lingers above you, allowing you to get constant hits on him, bringing out the full potential of the air spinner and allowing it to deal on-tier DPS. Go off, King. Oh, you've got me into a tight spot here. I can no-hit this dude. Whoa, close one. Damn! So close to being a no-hit. It's a one-hit then. Because I can't win them all. Got him. Okay, it was a one-hit, but Infernum is harder, but overall better designed and more fair. I guess it's fair if you put in enough attempts. Now with Skeletron out of the way, I can reveal those two Yoyos to you, the Valor and the Cascade. Our 12th Yoyo, the Valor, is simply obtainable from normal dungeon chests, which luckily we have easy access to since I set up my pylon right next to the archive. There we go, that was so quick, I got the Valor already. And now I just need Cobalt Shield for Asgards. It doesn't get any better than that, I tell ya. I tells you, it's just too good. It did, in fact, get better than that. Allow me to present you this. So now it's time to farm. Still haven't got a Blood Moon. I'm still waiting on that. You're actually kidding me. Thank you. Our 13th Yoyo, the Cascade, is a 1 in 400 drop from any enemy in the underworld, and we just got it from our very first enemy. If I had this kind of luck in Pet Simulator or Saber Simulator back in the day, I would have been fucking balling. Yeah, the debuff doesn't add that much. It's a good, decent Yoyo on its own, but the Espinner just does more damage. Wait, does it? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with the Espinner, because it's just so good. I'm glad I got that Cascade so quickly though. I seriously wonder how long the Espinner can hold its reign for. Moving on though, for our 14th and final pre-hard mode Yoyo, we need to fight the Slime God. But Certified Cat 123 wanted me to do Deerclops first, and Deerclops is a fun boss, so I obliged. Here we go. That's right, Homelander, and then... That's right, Deerclops is fairly easy, it's just like this. It's gonna be a very long fight though. Oh, next phase. There's like these little things that spawn that you have to kill. Yeah, that's right. These aren't too bad, because Deerclops doesn't do anything else during those. Oh damn, worst timing. There we go, that was a fun fight. In terms of practicality, there was no reason to do Deerclops, but it was cool, so let's move on to the Slime God now. I guess I'll go to the Corruption for this, since I've got an actual arena there. Use the Aether Monolith, because it looks awesome. Your first phase is going to last a while, I just realised. That was quick. Oh, why are you not going on the platforms? Why are they actually done? Now, do they want to land on the platform properly? I don't understand why they don't. There really isn't much to show for the main phase since it was so slow, so let's get to the arguably even slower core phase. Perfect. Okay, focus for this. This might actually take a while though, so my damage is not great. Clean dodge. Oh damn, close one. Need to itch my nose, there we go. This phase is the sole reason why Slime God's actually really hard to no-hit. Took me many attempts. Although it's actually been pretty easy though, so far. And there we go, there's Slime God. With the Slime God defeated, I can use the Electrolyte Gel Pack, and with the Purified Gel I got, craft the 14th Yoyo, the God's Gambit. I know for a fact it's going to be better than Espinner, so Espinner can be put away. Yeah, no competition, it's just insane. An actual good Yoyo, who would have thought? I head to the Corruption with a Zerg Potion since I needed more Blighted Gel, and use that as an opportunity to test out the God's Gambit, which fires out accurate streams of slime which in terms of damage rival the Yoyo itself. Anyways, now with that extra Blighted Gel, I can make the Sat Gel melee armor. And with no other upgrades on my mind, there's nothing left to do except face the Wall of Flesh. Now I know all of you Professor Geniuses have been telling me to drop the guide into lava to spawn the Wall of Flesh so I don't have to farm for voodoo dolls every time. Let's put that to the test. Does it work? Mythbusters. Oh, let's go. I applaud you. Well done. Good advice from Infernum players is a rare thing, but this is like magnificent. I've got no arena, but shouldn't be too bad, since I'm doing pretty decent damage. That is strange, why there too? Damn, lava. Unbelievable. I need a water walking potion. Okay, well, that was just bad luck. I face a wall of flesh again, this time with the classic water walking and featherfall combo. Perfect. Perfect dodging. And a bit of good luck as well. Even when I wasn't able to hit the boss directly, the streams of slime from the God's Gambit were so consistent and accurate that I was always able to deal good damage to the wall. Oh, I'm actually pretty low. So is the wall, and you're done. Beautiful. Hey, let's go, Gamer of Cheese. You actually pulled up. Now, with the wall completely obliterated by the God's Gambit, a myriad of new yo-yos have opened up for us. Some being easily obtainable, some being a bit grindy, and others being in the same boat as the Code 1. Once again, I'll obtain as many of them as feasibly possible on tier, and skip the ones like the Code 1 which are just pointless to get. So let's get acquainted with all this new stuff. Before I can even get to the next yo-yos, I notice that there's a blizzard going on, and I love the frost armor, so the very first thing I do in hard mode is take out 3 ice golems. Now, assuming I don't die, yeah, there we go, that's my final ice golem. So now, when the time is ripe, I can get the frost armor. Moving on, the first hard mode yo-yo I can obtain is the Yin-Yo, requiring souls and shards of light and dark. With a natural hallowed desert from the hard mode V, I get the light shard with minimal trouble. There's my light shard. But with no corrupt desert or contaminator, how was I gonna get dark shards? Well, believe it or not, you know that thing you used to make the Eater of Worlds summon? It couldn't be used as a means to spread the corruption. Just enough corruption so that this desert counts as a corrupt desert and I can get dark mummies. All that matters is that I can get dark mummies. Brilliant. With the Dark and Light Shard collected, I destroy Demon Altars for Souls of Night, which Calamity lets you do. Then venture to the Underground Hallow to mine Cobalt and Palladium, and obtain Souls of Light. Well, there's my Rod of Discord. That was surprisingly quick. While I'm down here, I luckily stumble upon the Skeleton Merchant, who sells me the Yo-Yo Glove, and my actual first hard mode yo-yo, the Format C. Now with all this farming cleared, I can make my ultimate yo-yo accessory, the Yo-Yo Bag, and my supposed first yo-yo upgrade, the Yin-Yo. So now I've got a Valor, I can make the Yin-Yo. Godly as well, don't even have to reforge the thing. Now it's bad. It's performing a bit better than God's Gambit, but not by as much as I expected. Although, what could I expect? It's an early hard mode yo-yo. The Yin-Yo isn't a steep upgrade compared to the God's Gambit, but it gets the job done, and will help us immensely for farming the next yo-yo, the Hellfire. Just like the Cascade, it's a 1 in 400 drop from any enemy in the Underworld, but sadly I don't get it on my very first enemy. I craft a Chaos Candle and some Zerg potions to help out with the spawn rates, but even then, it's entirely down to chance. Holy enemies. I don't really want to flex or like, ooh, I'm the black sheep, I don't use other social medias, but life is more life in right now, in comparison. Hellfire! Let's take care of you guys. You do me gaff, son. Farming for the Hellfire took so long that a goblin army was waiting for me back at home, but either way, I got the thing, and we can move on. Picking at about 400 DPS at the very highest. Okay, yeah, Yin-Yo is slightly better. I think the trend here will be that Calamity's yo-yos will always outperform vanilla ones, and the Cheek is no exception, having less base damage than the Hellfire. Amarok's always easy to get. I wouldn't be surprised if I get it in this very moment. Yeah, see, Amarok is just free basically. Also lumped in with the Hellfire and Cheek is the Amarok, which just like those two doesn't shoot projectiles, making the Yin-Yo automatically better. That's slots for the Yin-Yo, yep. Now with all of these yo-yos collected, the only remaining feasible to get early hard mode yo-yo is the Gradient from the Skeleton Merchant. Do you sell the Gradient? No, I still have to wait. The problem with the Gradient though is that it can only be bought on certain moon phases, so we were gonna have some waiting in store for us. I got a nuke in my pocket. However, on the very next night, I looked up to see a full moon, which is one of the phases required for the Gradient. Oh, the sodding tic-tac Skeleton Merchant. Oh, there he is! Do you have it? Yes! And now I've collected every single pre-mech boss yo-yo. What's up, Lixion? Every single one. The Yin-Yo included, except I haven't put that up. Aside from the Code 1 and Code 2, I now have every single yo-yo that's available to me right now. Meaning, I can fight some bosses. This is gonna be free anyways. My damage isn't... oh, yeah, she has damage reduction for that phase. Now we're tight. I think I hit my mic with my shoulder. Bad time to use, Rage. Second phase though. Believe it or not, even considering the Queen Slime stays static above you for the most part, the Yin-Yo is actually dealing decent damage to her. Oh damn. Why are you making it hard for me though? Bit of a fluky attempt, but I've still got this. Yeah, you're done. It's been a good fight. I got you. That was Queen Slime. I did something a little bit naughty here. I didn't upgrade any of my armor or accessories. So to rectify the issue, I went to farm wyverns in the sky for angel wings. Oh no, SpongeBob, fella man, don't bring out all my shit. So that's the second wyvern I need. Excuse me? What was that? I craft the Amalgamated Brain, upgrade my wings to Angel Wings, then upgrade my Bloody Wormtooth to the Bloody Worm Scarf. To top my loadout off, I upgraded to Cobalt Melee Armor, and then I was finally ready to challenge my first mech, Skeletron Prime. Let's beat this guy first try. Got the goated equipment. I got no dash, but I don't really need one. With Skeletron Prime being by far the easiest mech in Infernum, he was an obvious choice. Even with the piddly damage of the Yin-Yo, I'll still be able to get him, surely. Boom, let's go. Oh, this attack. Get him! Come on! Yes. That took so long. Alright, what phase are we in first? That one. That's good. That's fine. Perfect. Now this one. These are just going to be more endurance fights than anything, really. Okay, that's not a no-hit anymore because I took that dodge, but I was really close though. Like, no hit all the way up until that point. Do your thing, buddy. Shoot your balls and your bullets. And then, easy attack, yep. Okay. Good positioning. Nice. Again? Twice in a row? It's a bit naughty. Not when I'm running out of platform, my boy. Oh, this weird attack, which I don't know what you do for that. That's fine. Defeating any one mech unlocks a select few yo-yos for us, including a Calamity one, so before I take on the twins, I'll have to go collect those. Of course, the first yo-yo I go out of my way for is the ever so iconic Yellet. Much akin to the Cascade and Hellfire, having a small chance to drop from any jungle enemy post one mech. I was gonna quote that one video of Deku in a Fortnite lobby, but then I realized I definitely shouldn't. Vernal Pass is really close to... Never mind. Thanks for the Yellets. Having the power of a slain mech behind it, the Yellets could have potential to rival the Yoyo. Peaking at 500. Then Yellets is slightly more. Okay. Same reach, slightly higher speed. Yellets is slightly better, but doesn't have the projectiles. I think I'm gonna stick with the Yoyo since it has projectiles, which means it has a better overall range. Sticking with the Yoyo may not have been the best choice, but there's still another Yoyo on this tier which I've yet to collect, which could show me something better. I went with the Orichalca melee armor at this stage, which may seem like another strange choice, but will synergize well with the way we obtain the next Yoyo, being that it's a drop from the tier 2 Acid Rain, requiring us to beat Aquatic Scourge. Of course, the fact I'm using a Yoyo on a worm boss isn't exactly going to help, even with the Orichalcum set bonus putting in some numbers, but there was also another glaring issue. I can't see shit, would this help? That doesn't particularly help either. My FPS is pretty terrible too. I can't see. I cannot see! I kinda see him now. Things were looking very bleak. I couldn't even get past the first 10% of the boss's health. But then one absolute saint in my chat told me to use a Hunter Potion. Yes! Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's perfect. When it comes down to it, the Aquatic Scourge is a fairly easy boss, and now being able to see him properly, I've got the win in the bag. But I'm gonna have to work for that win though. Might need to use Yoyo with better range, maybe the Yellets. Or like the Hellfire for a debuff, who knows. First attack again, okay. It's a bit of damage. This is doable, it's just gonna be really long. I'm still sloppy at this guy since I don't fight him often. But I think I'm good enough to the point where I can get through this, given enough time. And if I stop running into the poisonous gas that somehow is underwater. Oh, next phase. There we go. This one ain't too bad, as long as you don't get caught in a bad spot. You do a third one? No. Okay. Longest Aquatic Scourge fight in the history of Calamity. Close one. Fire. So this is quite the extended battle. And then, okay, that. I got the pattern down. I understand this. Here we go. I understand this fight a lot deeper now. Please don't die. I don't want to get touched by the deluge of acid. I can probably take you out in one fell swoop with this. So this is just like circle. Close. And then next is Run God. Fly God, I should say. Oh no, that's that attack. So you can dodge that normally. Then this is where you have to just fly. And he like comes back a little bit. And then circles you again. Alright, yep. We're done. We've beat Aquatic Scourge. This ain't gonna get you, but it's gonna be close. Yeah, I think next coil is gonna be the one. Maybe this coil. Yeah, this coil. I've done him. How long was that? Gotta be 7 minutes. No, 6 minutes and 34 seconds. I was so close. I was 11 seconds off. Surprisingly, that actually wasn't as long as my Perforator's fight, despite feeling longer. But either way, now with the tier 2 Acid Rain upon us, I can go and farm for the next Yoyo, the Sulphurous Grabber. Thank you, I'm out. Yeah, this one was like finicky, releases coloured bubbles, and if you touch them it powers it up, which I think is awkward because you just have to kind of jank the Yoyo like that, but who knows, it could do more DPS, so... Peaking at 500, yeah. And this... is better. Okay, that's actually better. Yeah, okay, looks like Sulphurous Grabber is slightly better, I'll give it that. We had finally found a new champion to crown as my second hotbar slot. Now having both the two post 1 mech Yoyos, I bought the Spiteful Candle from the wizard, which I forgot to do earlier. Then for Cryogen, I could have done the second mech, but both the second mech and Cryogen are a prerequisite to the next Yoyo, so I decided to take on Cryogen first. This is actually really good DPS. Although he is staying in the exact same spot. Kinda like the same thing I had with Skeletron. Then when you're gonna get to your dash phase, probably he always does it suddenly. He always just does it when you least expect it. At least you can actually predict when it's happening. This attack already. Okay. This attack. Good. Now I can actually hit you. Surprisingly, the Sulphurous Grabber, a Yoyo, was holding up really well against Cryogen. Whether it would do the same for my second mech of choice, though, is debatable. Perfect. There we go. You're done. Come on, you bastard. Well, now, this again? Wow. Imagine no-hitting and you die to this. There we go. Not a bad time for a Cryogen fight. This won't be that hard, but actually it's great because I can actually focus Spasmatism, get him to his desperation or final phase, rather than having to worry about targeting and stuff. It's probably pretty obvious that I chose the twins for my second mech, since the Destroyer in Infernum is ludicrously hard. I'd argue that the twins aren't too far from Prime's difficulty, but they move around a lot, meaning it's going to be hard to get hits in with our Yoyo. Come on, give her a Naser too. Come on. There we go. Target you. Now. Not bad. Not incredible either. That, okay, good phase. I can hit them both at once with this attack. That's actually real nice. And you should be in your final phase. Or Spasmatism at the least. Got him. Alright, let me focus real quick. This could be my death. In most cases, the Twins' Desperation phase doesn't usually last much longer than a single cycle, but with Spasmatism constantly being on the move, there's no doubt that I'll be here for a while. Had to use Rod, had no choice. This is gonna take forever, you can't get close to him in this phase. Ah, shit. Alright, that was close, but I got him this try. Why did they circle back on me like that? What was that? Madness. It was clean up until the end, but I still got him either way. Notice how Spasmatism's stats appeared on the screen slightly early. And then, look at the time. It became daytime the exact moment I beat the twins, meaning I had to do them all over again. But luckily, being accustomed to the Desperation phase now, it only took a single try. Close one. Got him, there we go. And it's not daytime, so now I will get my loot and my goods. Beating 2 mechanical bosses grants access to Adamantine, allowing me to make an Adamantite pickaxe, and thus mine Cryonic ore, which Cryogen spawns in the underground ice biome. But before all that, I craft the thing I've been waiting for since literally the beginning of hard mode. Perfect, so all my stinky titanium's gone. Of course, Yoyos are the focal point of this run, but what good is Yoyo tech without some fine, distinguished drip? Moving on though, I craft an Adamantite pickaxe, mine some Cryonic ore, and then make my next Yoyo, the Shimmer Spark. Conducting another Skeletron test, the Shimmer Spark was dealing similar DPS to the Sulphurous Grabber, peaking around 700. So in the end, I decided to favour the Shimmer Spark, considering it has the range advantage and it's a shiny new Yoyo. That's the only post-2 mech Yoyo, so I got back to making other upgrades like the Ornate Shield, which will be absolutely necessary for my next boss, the Destroyer. I've been dreading this fight slightly, since for one, Destroyer is the hardest out of all the 3 Infernum mechs, for 2, Yoyos just aren't good against worm bosses, 3, this guy's off screen for most of the fight, and 4, I'm just generally bad at Destroyer. Actually avoided them. Wow. Pure luck. Where'd you go? Oh, lasers. This is gonna be such a long fight. Surprisingly, I was actually faring pretty well at evading the Destroyer, but my damage was still in the gutter. That's bad. Oh no. I'm on the brink of death. Took a hill. I'm good. Now we're on this phase. I don't know if this is easier or not. What was that? Oh yeah, insane mode. That's right. Like with many of the fights in this run, this has been the longest Destroyer fight I've ever had so far. In most Infernum runs, you'll have the sheer damage capacity to just skip through boss phases you don't like. But there's no easy way out for me, not with the Shitter Spark at least. The longer and more drawn out a boss fight gets, the more distant fluking becomes as an option. Without literally face tanking, for fights these long, I need to achieve mastery over these bosses to come out on top. Perfect. Go off. Oh shit. Oh look at that, he's nearly dead. Don't get cocky though. Actually do get cocky. I'll be as cocky as I want to be. Can't speak. What is going on? Don't even know, but he's dead. What was that barrage of lasers? Well, as always with Destroyer, it's a mad fluke. I should give myself some more credit. That wasn't too fluky. But either way, we got the Destroyer. Now, despite there being some post-1 mech Yoyos, and in Calamity a post-2 mech Yoyo, there are no post-3 mech Yoyos. My next Yoyo doesn't actually come until post-Cal clone, so for the time being, I'm still stuck with the Shitter Spark. Before fighting Cal clone though, I decided to take on Brimmy, for the sake of fighting as many bosses as possible, and also to serve as a calm before the storm. Brimmy isn't exactly docile though, and I'd argue Cal clone's more of a fire tornado, but my point still stands in a metaphorical sense. Wow. I got it, just give me like a few attempts or so. And now for this hard attack, I need to get back and get pretty far back. Nice, got it. Oh no. I'll tell you right now, our next Yoyo is a drop from Cal clone, meaning that even if we do defeat her, we're not even guaranteed the drop. I think laser soon, but that should be easy enough, because it's kind of like Retina's final phase thing. One adrenaline and it's all over. Laser? Close one. Oh! Oh, I dodged. Worst timing imaginable. Worst timing in the history of the 24-hour clock. I'm good. Fight's over. Oh my god, this is like the power of me actually directing my attention towards this fight. Got the job done. Brimmy's defeat means that the only path forward now is the clone of the cow herself. So let's get into that. Let's find out. No, she looks the same to me. That's cool then. Damage is actually going to be pretty decent. Despite our weapon being the Shitter Spark, I'd say that was a fair observation since Cal clone stays in close proximity to us for most of the fight. Nice hex, good. Solid. Circle time. Yeah, Cal clone's easy. Effortless almost. Is it the speedy uppy ones? No, just normal ones. Cool. Oh, I messed up. Attack's always so hard to dodge. Can't hit them in this phase, because my Yoyo simply does not have the range. It's just gonna take so long. Ironically, the easiest phase of the fight turned out to be the most drawn out due to the brothers constantly dancing around you or being off screen. Save adrenaline. Never mind. Don't know how I got hit there. There we go. Now sun. Saving my rage or adrenaline for circle time was the perfect strat since I could hit her at basically point blank range. Got him. Oh, that's different. Got you do that. That, okay. Nice. Got it. Perfect. Why am I dying now? Do not die now. Okay. That's fine, I got it. Barely pulled that off. So I was in the wrong position. Okay. Let's go. I'm gonna run out of platforms. This ain't good. Had no choice there but to rod. Nice, pulled that off. Oh, that's bad. Why are you on that side? In only 3 slightly longer than average attempts, we had taken out the clone of the cow. However, this is just the beginning. Prepare yourself for her strongest hex, RNG. I didn't get a Yoyo. Just for a cute little bit of context, the Oblivion Yoyo has a 33% drop chance from cow clone. So the odds are absolutely in our favour here, and statistically speaking, we should get the thing in the next 2 attempts. We serious? Oh, this might be bad. Shit, how did I actually... Got him. Yeesh, that's bad. There we go. There we go. Still didn't get the Yoyo to drop. Man, I have no words for that. Man, doing multiple cycles of a final phase is brutal. So, Gamer of Cheese, you prophesized I will get the Oblivion. Oh my fuck. Bro. Alright, let's see. Gives you like the bone thing sound, and opening this gives you the Yoyo, fuck yeah. Okay, well, yeah, fuck this, I'm done. Some good cow clonage. In a mere 18 doubly long attempts, we finally obtained the Oblivion Yoyo, which means we can now move on to Plantera. But I ended up doing that on the next stream, because I was on for like a good hour longer than I had planned, simply from just farming cow clone for this stupid Yoyo. So how about I come back to this when I'm a bit more refreshed. The Oblivion's obviously going to be better, but I want to test both. Peaking at 700. Oblivion That's high, yeah, there we go. Aside from the Oblivion, of course, Calclone gives us no upgrades going into Plantera, so all that's left to do is face the beast. Luckily for our run, Infernum Plantera is a boss that stays very close to you, so we can get the maximum potential out of the Oblivion. It's definitely more fitting that the Oblivion shoots brimstone darts now, but I like the lasers, they used to be a lot cooler. Either way, yeah, this is doing adequate damage. Now it's big boy time. Type 1. Really made it difficult for me there. In all honesty, it seems like yo-yos are actually becoming viable weapons at this point. Could I even consider this a challenge anymore? Well, believe me, these yo-yos are only working because the bosses are letting them work. You saw exactly what went down with the Destroyer and Spasmatism's final phase, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too high. Oh, this attack already. Why is the Fawn still there? There we go, that's fine. And I got it perfectly. You love to see it. Yeesh, not much I could do there. Nice. Not just because of the yo-yos, of course. Clean dodging. This thing needs to go. But because my first try luck has finally dissipated, and now I'm gonna have to put in actual skill to defeat Plantera. Nice, that was so close. That was so clutch. But I have to be careful for this though. I don't think Plantera is gonna go down this cycle, but she is very close. And that was yeah, she's done. Even with Plantera being a tank and a half, 3 minutes and 41 seconds is still an exceedingly long fight, even for her standards. But now having defeated all 3 mechs, Calclone and Plantera, we can finally catch a break and collect 3 more yo-yos. And since I got all 3 of the mech boss souls, I can make... Or... No, I'm post Plantera, and I still haven't gotten a single Blood Moon. The first and simplest yo-yo to acquire at this stage would be the Quagmire, literally needing just perennial bars. With it being post-Plantera as opposed to post-Calclone, you'd expect it to be at least slightly stronger. And that would be a more than correct assumption. The Quagmire shreds. Oh yeah, wow, okay. I'm sold. Quagmire is awesome! Not only does it deal a hefty chunk more DPS compared to the Oblivion, but the Spore Clouds it summons also make it effective for crowd control, which ties in perfectly to the next 2 yo-yos I need to get, making things nobody's ever crafted in the history of Calamity, Berserker War Axe. Excuse me, oh. Whoa, that confirms that he can just randomly spawn. The Glorify Armor would arguably be a much better choice for post-Plantera, but I want to cling on to the aura of the Frost Armor for as long as possible. What I do upgrade though are my wings, making the Aurea boosters. That's a couple of them though. Quagmire is completely smoking them. Who would have thought a yo-yo could pull off some decent crowd control? This guy's gonna go down in, like, seconds. Out of the 3 post-Plantera yo-yos I can get, the Quagmire is the only Calamity one. So next up for me is the Kraken, which just like the Amarok, the Hellfire, the Cascade, the Yellet, has a small chance to drop from any dungeon enemy. And I say small chance, but you know me, it took like 2 minutes. Well, that's a Kraken, nice. I didn't think I'd get it that quickly, but as is my luck with everything but Blood Moons, and a key brand too. And the Spirit in a Bottle. Just like with basically all of the non-projectile firing vanilla yo-yos, the Kraken was considerably worse than the Quagmire, which doesn't exactly give me high hopes for my next yo-yo, the Eye of Cthulhu. Up north. Perfect. So now I can do less solar eclipse. The Eye of Cthulhu drops some Mothrons at a 55% chance. And it also happens to be the penultimate vanilla yo-yo, the yo-yo that you're meant to fight Moonlord with. Well, there's a Mothron, took me a second to register. Hardest boss fight, the fact they didn't rework Mothron in Infernum, yet they've reworked every other mini-boss. Okay, Yoyo has been obtained, it's probably not going to be that good. In case you were wondering, you don't need to wonder, the Eye of Cthulhu is just worse than the Quagmire. I think Vanilla should be taking notes from Calamity's yo-yos. In fact, on that note, I think a mechanical boss yo-yo would be really sick, like a twins yo-yo, if there wasn't already an Eye of Cthulhu. Or actually hold that thought, maybe a Destroyer probe yo-yo. That would be fucking sick, although the Destroyer already has a melee weapon. So I'll just put the Eye of Cthulhu where it belongs. Now having added all three of the post-Plantera yo-yos to my collection, the next yo-yo doesn't actually come until post-Golem. Translate that to simple English, and we've got a mini boss rush on our hands. So I can just summon the meaty fella in, and then challenge him to a duel. Oh yeah, that's some good damage. Okay, we're gonna be just fine for this fight then. I reckon we'll first try it. I'm gonna focus. I wasn't quick enough with my rod. Just fine, maybe, but taking into account Aureus's pure defense and plumpness, it's gonna be a long fight. He is a big boy and he's easy to hit, but there's times when we have to be off screen. You're the Interstellar Stomper, but haven't seen you stomp once so far. There we go. Bad place to stomp, but... Oh, this is not good. I'm not doing good on this fight. Can you land on the platforms, please? Why, you buggy? I really have to take you to the snow biome. I'm really just taking you for a walk. Shit, I said that with my dog in the room. I don't think he heard that though. Jumps? There we go. Alright, these are the harder ones with the rockets, but that's okay. So I can dodge those. And then the easy attack. Now for fast mode. Oh no. He's very angry. Normally, I'd be able to dodge this attack fairly easily on a whim, but this time I was struggling with it. Of course, I didn't consider it at the time, but I was using Lightning Boots instead of Angel Treads, which do not pair well with the Aurea boosters. Use Angel Treads of Aurea boosters, they actually give you a lot more horizontal speed than you'd think. Got him. How am I actually screwing up this bad on Astromorius? Eventually, I carved out a sort of strategy to be a crutch to my poor mobility, just go up high for the laser attack. Stumps. Crazy dodging. I didn't think it'd actually land on the platform that time. Close one. Why are you still doing that attack, man? Now you're dead. No! Yes. On one polarity, when I was testing Summoner out on Aureus, I got a 37-second kill with the Raven Staff. This would be the opposite polarity. But let's not get too hung up on how long these bosses take. Our next fight is Leviathan and Anahita, who I'm not exactly good at in Infernum, but for the sake of doing every boss, I guess I'll give them a go. The only reason I'd really do them is for the community, which I can just farm for later on isn't really necessary right now. I'll give it a couple attempts. If I don't get far, then I guess I'll just move on to Golem. Can we just get to the second phase already? I want to see the big girl. About time. Oh, she just snapped back up there. This is probably where I'm gonna die. I'm just not that good at this boss. Although my damage is pretty bad. It's not terrible though. It's good enough. It's just gonna take a while to get this boss done. Bruh, I dashed through and I still took damage. Well, you were inside me for a sec. Oh no. What are you doing? Wait, you're nearly dead though. Didn't hear that telegraph. I got this fight, I just gotta actually put some attempts into it. There is just no warning or sound telegraph when she dashes. At least very minimal ones. Especially in this phase where they're not even audible really. Just poor sound design. Gotta get better. It's unforgivable really. No, you can kinda hear him now, but when you're actually attacking the enemy, it is very hard to hear. Or she just dashes really suddenly like that. There we go, now for the easiest part of the fight, probably. Oh, you do that. Forgot you use skewer D with those. Yeah, she's done. This part's just gonna take annoyingly long because of the small hitbox though. There we go. 4 minute and 44 second fight. That was so long. Those were certainly eventful fights, but at least now we can move on to the main lad, Golem. Great, let's just go for Golem. What do I have to lose? I think the lack of range with Yoyos and being able to hit the Golem consistently is going to be the main issue with this. Golem stays somewhat static for the majority of the fight, but the issue is his teeny tiny hitbox and the fact that he would just randomly disappear off screen. Or spears where I actually have to be on the move. I can kind of grab him from down here. Glad I didn't use Adrenaline there because he just did that attack. But now I can use it here though. Spears again. Okay. Didn't go up fast enough. All in all though, Golem is an easy and fun fight, so the illness of being a Yoyo user doesn't affect us too much. Go. Second phase. Oh, yep, there we go. Cool. That's not good. I'm not doing good. Why are you stuck up there still? Oh, hi. Okay, save the adrenaline, hopefully. That's an easy task. Hell yes, there we go. Get the damage. Look at all that damage we just pulled off on him. You know, if you play Yoyo like a high-risk, high-reward class, charge up your adrenaline, and then get right up close to the boss and go crazy mode, it's actually pretty fun. There's a high risk, but there's no reward though. They're faster though. And you're done, you are dead. You dead. Spears again, wow. Now you're dead. Got him. 6 minute Golem fight. Never use Yoyos, I'm telling ya. Defeating Golem, despite how easy he is in Infernum, marks a milestone in our journey. We gain the Pixel, granting us ability to mine scoria ore, thus giving us access to a plethora of new accessories and an armor set, and only one new Yoyo we can get before fighting a boss. So let's go see what that Yoyo is. Where does a fellow fella get Voidstone? That's Pyromantor. That's Voidstone. And that's good enough amount of woodstone. And there's my scoria. Great all round. Especially the melee set. Yay! Especially the melee set. Oh, you just committed no life anymore. Oh, shit. Oh, well, quickly, put it down. Yup, I'm out. There are way too many enemies here. I guess for everyone's next playthrough, Reaver armor is a good way to survive in the abyss for a decent amount of time. Very least enough to get some scoria. Now having mined a good chunk of scoria ore, I can make the hydrothermic melee set, and my next yo-yo. My next yo-yo, the fault line. The Quagmire has been incredible to us up until now, but could a post-golem yo-yo dethrone it? Abso-fucking-lutely. 1500 peaking at. What can I say, fault line is better. Excited for the possibilities that yet await us with this new yo-yo, I return back to my beautiful mansion in the tundra and craft a hydrothermic armor. Then craft a surprisingly cool looking scoria tool, since no neurotypical person does that. There we go, got my awesome loadout. Finally, after evaporating a wyvern from the inside out, I top off my loadout with the Hadal Mantle. Good all round wings. Fire Gauntlet! I forgot about that. Then to finally top off my loadout, I spend a solid 14 minutes across 2 different worlds hunting for feral claws to make the Fire Gauntlet. There we go. That was pretty rough. Full Metal Alchemist reference. There we go. I guess I'll replace the boots with, no, because I need the flight time. Amalgamated Brain I don't really need. I can dodge. Okay, now, I was seriously ready for my next boss, who was going to have to be Plaguebringer Goliath. I guess I'll make flasks of crumbling. So now I can make the Abomination. The reason for that is that with the infected armor plating she drops, we can make the next yo-yo the Pandemic. Normally, I do Duke Fish Run first, then challenge Plaguebringer, but for the sake of this challenge, I want to obtain this yo-yo as soon as I possibly can. The Plaguebringer isn't exactly an ideal boss to fight with a yo-yo considering how much she moves, but the fault line has the potential to nullify that issue with its sheer effectiveness. Damage isn't incredible, but it's not bad either. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, this already. Didn't think it would be that quick. Different dashes. I'll be summoning minions now. That is pretty devious. Great damage. There we go. Oh, walls. Oh no. Yeah, they actually die pretty fast. But doing that immediately isn't very fair. Oh no. Walls? Okay, that telegraph worked that time, but I know it's a bit inconsistent. Well, there we go. I'm pretty sure you have a desperation at like 20%. Something like that. Not desperation, but just a hard attack. I'll read chat in a minute. There we go. Am I meant to take those guys out? Yeah, I am. Oh, what the fuck? Man, come on. There it is. There's a... like, this attack. Very fun attack. Wow. Oh, dodging this is satisfying. I will say, this attack has become one of my favorites in the mod at this point. Like, it's up there with crosses. It's that fun to dodge. Don't die. Cool. That was very clutch. I was about to die, but I use adrenaline. 5-minute Plaguebringer fight is not particularly the badge of honor. Let me tell you a fun fact. In times of old, the pandemic was once a drop from the Plaguebringer herself, but these days you can just make it with her materials, saving me from potentially having to do more 5-minute Plaguebringer fights. Now I can make the pandemic. 200 damage! Boy, they reworked this thing. The pandemic is our second to last Yoyo before delving into post-Moonlord territory. Where that final pre-Moonlord Yoyo comes from, you probably already know, otherwise I won't spoil it. All I have to say though is that we have another mini boss rush on our hands. So what do you say? Let's get acquainted with the next 3 challenges. It seems situational. Let's just say that. The pandemic seems to have similar single target DPS to the fault line, but lacks the explosion from it. Maybe the much higher base damage could be useful for targets of higher defense, but I have my doubts. Yeah, pandemic sucks for this, so I'm gonna use fault line. Second phase, there we go. The only things that are damaging me here are the bubbles, because it's hard to destroy them when they're close to you. Final phase is also free as ever. Shame. Dash time. Bit hard to hit him while he's moving so much. This will probably be the longest phase of the fight. Surprised how little damage I'm taking, considering the fact I've got no survivability. I'm on a sliver of health. A long one. It's not a permadeash, is it? No, it's not. Stop fucking me over at every single possible angle. Pause. Yeah, it's not a permadeash. It just goes really long. This ain't good. I'm kind of on 1 HP, but you're so dead. If you dash, then I'm fine. Fluke of the Century. Well, either way, that's Duke Fishron, although it's not even guaranteed. I get the wings. I got the wings. Thank you so much. My next options after Fishron would be either the Empress or Ravager, and with Ravager being by far the easier pick, you can guess who I went for. I don't think he particularly likes platforms. Maybe Pandemic would be good for this. Looks like not. Yeah, fault line seems to be the way. In fact, Yoyos aren't the way, but, you know, I think I'm just gonna stick with fault line. Have you realized yet? Should I tell you? Nah, I think I should wait a bit longer. In terms of game... Oh, I died. Okay, screw it. I'll tell you now, it's funny. Basically, I was doing some testing the other day and left 10 times boss HP on in the Calamity config, which for some reason didn't affect a single Infernum boss until Ravager. And with me being the clueless and stubborn soul I am, I had no clue as to why the Ravager was taking so long to take out. I knew Yoyos were ass, but this is just unrealistic. I never really paid close attention to the health bar, which is supposed to say 188,000, but actually says 1.8 million. There we go, core phase. Now the fight's really over. Even now you're hardly taking any damage? What is this, man? Why do you have 864,000 health? Oh. I just realized a little something. Wait, no. Wait, yeah, no, I did. I left this on. Somehow that didn't affect any of the Infernum bosses, but it affected Ravager. It took me a whole 11 minutes to realize that slider was still on, so after turning it back down to default, Ravager was effortless. Just melt you at this point. Thank you. Take my rage upgrade. Take the fleshy geode. With only the Empress remaining, and me being scared to death of fighting her over Yoyo, I challenged Nighttime Empress instead of Daytime. In all honesty, I could have just face tanked Daytime Sun, but I was just scared shitless of actually doing it. Again, oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Why do you do that again? I thought you was at your next phase. I didn't know you do that 3 times. If I'm lucky, I might be able to make it to the next phase before this cycle ends. Looks like it. Perfect, there we go. Why did I do that? Wow, those blades being so slow caught me off guard. I want to do Daytime Empress, but Sun is the reason that it's just... If Sun wasn't so stupidly hard in Daytime Empress, I would like it a lot more. I spent over 1,000 attempts no-hitting Daytime Empress, so doing Nighttime Empress felt like I was committing some kind of cardinal sin. I could die. Oh, it's that... Don't even ask, man. I could have done Daytime Empress had I put in enough attempts. The only place I'd be dying there would be Sun, but I chose not to. To keep the marble rolling, I instead summoned the Lunatic Cultist to thrust us into the final portion of hard mode. Close one. Can you come over here, please? This, okay. That was lucky. Then the telegraph thing. What the why? What did I do to cause this guy to come out at me? Oh no. Yeah, I have no idea why the dragon spawned. That has not happened to me a single time in Infernum throughout my hundreds of Lunatic Cultist attempts. Okay, I'm safe for some reason. I literally attacked one of the clones, yet nothing happened. That's just an anomaly. That's never happened to me before in Infernum. Oh, what do you do now? This again? Huh. I've actually never had a Lunatic Cultist fight this long, even in Craftless. Kinda crazy. I didn't know he just repeats these attacks again. You learn something new every now and then. Now for easy desperation. Oh. Okay. Now, beating the Lunatic Cultist is great and all since we can finally prepare for Moonlord, but he doesn't grant us direct access to our next Yoyo. For that, we'll need to take on Astrum Deus. But before I take on Deus though, the first thing I want to do today is make sure I'm fully prepared for Moonlord, and that starts with me upgrading to Angel Treads. The fact I still haven't gotten a Blood Moon, so I still can't farm for infinite potions. Been waiting for so long. Oh, there's the Ice Lab. That is good to find, although it's spawned in an awkward spot. I shimmer my Deer Club summon to get the Flink's Fur to make the Ice Skates, and go on a Wild Elephant chase to get the Lava Waders. So then Lava Waders, then Terra Sparks, then Harpy Ring, then Angel Treads. No, I lost my... That was some crafting, but now we can go fast. With that done, I go clear up the 4 pillars so they're out of the way and so that I can craft the Moonlord summon. Calling the fault line effective would be a straight up lie, but for a Yoyo, it was definitely punching above its weight. And no, I didn't magically beat Moonlord on the first attempt. Which is fine though, because I need to do Astrum Deus anyways for my next Yoyo. Horrifying. So apparently Fault Line... Yeah, Fault Line is pretty good against Astrum Deus, to my surprise. About as good as a Yoyo can be, although that is solid damage. It took me a moment to fully register, but the Fault Line was dealing adequate damage compared to any weapon on this tier. Bombs. Wow, damage is good. That was tight. Oh no. The fight was just kinda dull, as is Infernum Astrum Deus, but the secret Yoyo tech I found actually spiced it up. Remember way back when I kind of stroked Desert Scourge with the Yoyo? Well, letting the Yoyo sit in Astrum Deus's body as he moves around quickly allows the Yoyo to hit many of the segments, building up phenomenal DPS, let's just say that. On my very first attempt, I did not get the microwave, but the fault line being so stupidly busted against Deus made the fight fun and easy to redo. I make the Astral Tools because they're cool, they've got aura. Okay, he's done. Yeah, look at that damage! Oh man, that was like nearly 20,000. Fault line is insane for Deus. They haven't nerfed this thing against him, unlike all the other piercing weapons. Yeah, look at that. When he moves quickly, 10,000 DPS. That's too good. Oh, Blender. No, don't kill me now. Alright, I need to stall and regen for a bit. Just run. You're done. Now give me microwave. Yes, thank you so much. Obtaining the microwave marks a milestone in our journey, being the final pre-Moonlord Yoyo we can get. Excluding all the goofy ones I'll be coming back to, there's only 6 Yoyos left for us to obtain, one of which is post-endgame. And obviously, do I even need to compare the microwave to our last 2 Yoyos, it just completely obliterates. The aura alone does equivalent damage, but hitting the enemies with the aura and the Yoyo itself blasts those numbers to the moon. So the only thing to do now is get onto Moonlord. Now I want to make sure I'm... Cosmolite! I forgot about Cosmolite. Okay, sudden turn of events. We are fishing. The Cosmolite now requires an enchanted sundial to craft for some nefarious reason, which I tried fishing for in pre-hard modes, don't question it. So I'm gonna fish for it again now. I need the loo. Oh, I actually searched up loo and not toilet. Being late hard mode at this point, the rods I had access to were a major help in this grind, with the perennial one alone having 40% fishing power and firing out 2 entire lines. I know my highest odds from titanium, and it diminishes as you go down the tiers. I don't know if they drop from these ones. You can probably already infer what I'm trying to do with the Cosmolite based on my gripes throughout this video. Blood moon farming for potions. But then I also remember the traveling merchant exists, so I go to him to see if I can buy the 2 Yoyos I need. There's the code 1, baby! Let's go. I repeat the cycle a few times as I wait for a blood moon. Sadly, I don't get the code 2, but eventually I see the sky fade into a crimson red. Normally, blood moon farming would be trivial with any crowd control weapon, but we're using Yoyos, so I decided to employ a bit of creativity here. I could put this on and put like spikes below me or something. And that's about all there really is for passive damage accessories, so... Look at that, they can't even touch me with this loadout. It's so good. So now all the items will converge into my little hidey hole, the cubby hole. With this setup and a lava foot bath, I was running a decent efficiency, but I knew in my heart I could go even further. The camber! I forgot that item even existed. Although that's pretty hard to make, isn't it? Holy shit, no way! Thank you so much! So now I can make the camper and commence the blood moon farming. Yes. Since I had astral bars too, I went ahead and crafted the deific amulet, and now I present to you maximum efficiency. 8. Right fork. I think that's every single orb. Well, I hope there's another crimson. Carl, I'm blind. Another crimson, this is perfect news. I think this is number 9. Large. Oh, there we go. Sweetheart necklace, and then deific amulet. Beautiful. Sure, this is borderline peak efficiency, but I always strive to improve. The enemies can't even get to me. Maybe I want them to get to me though. How about I take off Toxic Heart, so then they get close to me and then the stars can handle them. Oh no, my camper has a damaging aura, so maybe it's best if I just let them get as close to me as possible. That revelation did sound a bit unenthusiastic, but believe me, this was huge. The main issue with AFKing Blood Moons is that once you get to a certain spawn rate, the items will just despawn before the conveyors can even carry them to you. But the camper provides the perfect solution, allowing the enemies to get close up to you before they die so their loot doesn't despawn due to hitting the loot cap. Meaning I could sit back, take my socks off, throw them at the wall, and do an anime openings tier list as my blood orbs pile and pile up. Anyways, let's get back to the actual game. I have 3,500 blood orbs in Rise of Kingdoms. I load up that plate with every single potion under the sun, then, with nothing else to do, the microwave is... it's not incredible, but it's good enough for us. It really isn't incredible. Core phase shouldn't be too bad though. Moonlord was one of the bosses in this run that I was scared of. He has tiny hitboxes, he moves, and he's just overall a difficult boss. So it's just gonna take a really long time. Beating the first phase with any weapon is like playing chess with a dog, but the core phase is gonna prove difficult if this is what my damage looks like. Perfect. Now we go. If I can save adrenaline for the core phase, that would actually be beautiful. Doesn't get any better than that. Have a true eyes. I want to stay somewhat close to him. Okay, I'm surprised I got that. Pulled it off, there we go. Craziness. Oh no. If I can get to black hole phase, it's so over. Fight's free. I'm actually gonna get to black hole phase. Yes, okay, fight's over. It's done. I just beat Moonlord right now. Oh, that's not good. Shit, okay, well... But I'm not done yet. For a first attempt with an arena, that was bloody phenomenal. Should be fine though. Make sure they're at equal health. That one? There we go. That attack first, that's a bit wild. Oh no. I've done something bad. Really awkward angle. Enough of this. Nearly hit me twice. Then this again. Yeah, that's hard to do. Yeah. That's just, come on, that is just such bullshit, you know? Alright, those two last hits were my fault, but nearly black hole phase. We're basically done the fight. And yeah, fight's over. Okay, that's like the really hard final version of that attack. That heal saved my life. Black hole again, okay. I'm not exactly dealing as much damage as I want to be. Black hole explode, perfect. Yes, it's over! Screw you, tentacle boy. Alright, that was actually easier than I thought it would be. 3-minute and 20-second Moonlord fight is a bit tragic. And we got the Terrarian. Well, he does drop like every single thing 2-star Fs. But there we go, there's the final vanilla Yoyo. Now that we're in post-Moonlord depths, we only have 5 more Yoyos left to collect, all of which are obviously Calamity Yoyos. So obviously, by default, Terrarian's gonna be the best Yoyo for right now. Look at that range. It's a long boy. Our next Yoyo upgrade after the Terrarian is another boss drop, which comes from Providence. Meaning that my primary objective right now is to rush Providence and slay her in her own domain. I make the Solar Flare armor and Solar Flare tools to match with my drip, Solar Flare pickaxe. Looking dope. Then as for my accessories, the angel treads come off and the solar wings are non-negotiable, but I wanted to go for a sort of jack-of-all-trades loadout, with accessories that benefit everything rather than just pure DPS or defensive accessories. The fire gauntlet is a staple though and won't be coming off anytime soon, but things like the bloody worm scarf, or the community, which I'm farming for right now. If it's doing that much damage on this big girl, then it's gonna do a lot of damage on the other big girl, Providence. Although it's still down to RNG. There we go. For my final preparation, I grind golem a few times for the sunstone, craft the celestial stone, and then the celestial shell, completely topping off my loadout for Providence. Profane shard. Boom. Jagged as well. And now there's nothing else left for us to do except fight Providence. Now it's time for these bosses. Let's see what I can do against Guardians. I think I might use... What am I actually doing? I think I might use the monolith to make it easier to see. But I'll just try it the way it is for now though. To see, so that's the one I want to target. I'm running into every single projectile. What am I actually doing? Healer's almost down. Got him. Which one do I damage? Defender. In terms of how effective Yoyos are on them, the Guardians are absolutely abysmal. They're small, they're nimble little chicken nuggets, and they do not stay still for more than a second. Although, for some reason, I don't know what it was on this particular day, but I was just performing terribly on the Guardians. Like, probably worse on my first ever Infernum playthrough. It was shameful. That's bad. Yeah, I'm face-hacking this a lot. I need to actually shape up. Alright, let me just beat the boss real quick since final phase is easy. Sun. Oh no, that's not good. I can't see shit! Just kill me at this point. I'm seriously face-tanking all of this. I don't think it's fair on the Guardians. You can't tell me I'm not face-tanking this. I don't think this is fair. Go up. Go down. Oh damn, I actually got hit by the sun itself. What am I doing, man? I suck. I actually fucking suck. Hitting rock bottom on the Guardians wasn't something I expected today, but when you're at rock bottom, the only place you can go is upwards. I'm low. And Bob's gone. That straight afterwards, that is devious, man. How am I not meant to get obliterated by Rockstar? That was very close. Oh, I beat him. Nice. Okay, that was a goofy Guardians fight, but we got him. So all's well that ends well. Guardians are a boss I'm not too strong at, so I shouldn't fault myself too much. Especially since Providence comes right after my second favourite boss in the mod. Okay, let's do it. Don't know what hit me there. Probably one of those projectiles. Yeah, damage is good. Damage is on fleek. Let's go. Oh shit. In a twist of irony, with the Profane Guardians being the worst boss archetype to use Yoyos against, Providence was surprisingly one of the best. On one hand, she is fucking enormous, but she also doesn't move around too sporadically, so you can kind of aim at her properly. Don't know why the underworld is so yellow for some reason. Just suddenly turned into the piss underworld. Okay. Good. Then you get over here. Nice. Okay, I forgot exactly what... That's what you do. That's... What the fuck was that? That's different. Just shoot him normally, please. Come on. Okay, at least you will for this phase. This attack is hard in nighttime Providence, took me a few attempts to learn. Thank you. Do it normally, there we go. I appreciate it greatly. Okay, easy crosses. Dude, daytime crosses are actually laughable. I say that and I get hit, but... Why did she throw a rock at me? That was weird. I'm not kidding around. Just like with the dragon from the Lunatic Cultist fight, that is the first time I've ever seen Providence throw a rock at me in her crosses phase. Like, she has never done that before. Or maybe I've just fluked it hundreds of times, but who knows. Either way though, I was in the wrong direction for the stun phase, and unfortunately I couldn't pull through. You have to move in such an exaggerated way to do it properly. In this, daytime. Wait, she does shoot rocks at you? I never even noticed that. That's so weird. Need to get her to move this way, kinda. Yeah, move that way so that you're all the way over there for sun. So then I can go over here, and it'll be a lot easier. I say that. She's doing daytime sun at like her nighttime speed for some reason. I swear she doesn't do it that fast usually. That's so weird. Some kind of secret Providence buff, I'm telling you, man. What's going on? I didn't kill you already, did I? Oh, what am I doing? Got it now. Anyways, yeah, Providence is over. It's so satisfying dodging these spears, I actually love doing it. So fun to pull off. And die. Thank you. That was Providence. That was a very fun fight. My favourite fight in the mod. Knock me away! Yo! There we go. Actually, do I want to get the Burning Revelation right now, though? Unless I get it from... You silly motherfucker. You son of a goat. That Guardians fight was a curse from the hell beneath me, but getting the Burning Revelation first try was a blessing from above. But there's another post-Providence Yo-Yo we can get, along with a plethora of upgrades. So let's get started by mining some Eula Bloom. By default, I put the Terrarian back on the shelf and took the Burning Revelation with me since it's a post-Providence Yo-Yo, of course it's going to be better. This goes through blocks? I didn't even realize. For my first upgrades, I threw on the Elysian Wings and Aegis of course, then crafted the Tainted Cloudberry for 25 extra max life. Some would argue that the Solar Flare armor is better than Tarragon armor, but the Solar Flare dash overrides the Elysian Aegis dash. And Tarragon's a bit more tanky, which is pretty nice. And that's it. Those are all my post-Providence upgrades, aside from the Burning Revelation, and the next Yo-Yo I'm about to make, the Lacerator. As long as I don't have him on 10 times HP. Burning Revelation is putting in some... It's good. It's pretty good. Fighting the Ravager post-Providence gives you a hefty chunk of Bloodstone, which when combined with Necroplasm crafts Bloodstone cores, which are required for the Lacerator Yoyo. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, Necromantic Geode, 125 Bloodstone. Where is the thing? There it is, the Lacerator. Next Yoyo. Now having both the Burning Revelation and Lacerator, that means there's only 3 Yoyos in the game left for us to obtain. I know this video is turning into a sort of boss rush, but there's just a general scarcity of Yoyos in Calamity, and their performance doesn't exactly make up for that either. Although the Burning Revelation may have something to prove. So I was picking at like 10,000 when it's charged up, and raring to go. Oh, I see how this works. Oh, that is cool. If you weren't already aware, the Lacerator was reworked from being a viable option against Dog to this weird buzzsaw looking thing. Yeah, I don't know if it's just nerfed on Stormweaver because piercing weapons and whatnot, but the Burning Revelation's definitely better. Interesting weapon though, I like how they've reworked it. The Lacerator also has the effect of spewing out these orbs which reduce your potion sickness cooldown, which I guess is a trade-off for the low damage. Once upon a time, over a year ago at this point, I did a Death Mode Yoyos only run, and with the Burning Revelation, my dogfight took like 12 minutes. The Burning Revelation nowadays though, post-rework, just take a look. Oh, is it making me go upwards? Oh, there we go, that was quick. Granted, I had adrenaline, but I wasn't even constantly hitting the boss, and my damage was flying through the roof. If it can perform this well on the other 2 Sentinels and Polterghosts, the Burning Revelation might just be a viable weapon. Actually, can I take this off and it'll still have the purple background? Yeah, I like the purple background more, it's cool. Now this is probably going to be hard due to the sheer amount of movement Cygnus has, and the fact he's not exactly an enormous fella. Although a Burning Revelation should be pretty decent to counter that. Unlike the Ceaseless Void and especially Stormweaver, Cygnus is far from an ideal boss to take on with a Yoyo, but if you take a glimpse at my DPS counter, we're actually doing fine numbers. When I can properly hit the boss in the homing projectiles proc, my DPS averages above 5k and peaks around 8k, which is perfectly fine DPS for this tier. On a completely unrelated note, I was suffering from some pretty bad lag on this fight. I normally run at a solid 120 or 100, but this was running at like 40 FPS. My muscle memory prevails though, and I'll win on my second try, but I was still unsure of what caused the lag. However, reloading my mod seemed to fix it, so all's well that ends well, right? And in case you were wondering, my mod list is in the video description and in my Discord server. And now it's time for the Ceaseless Void himself. Before I fight you though, I want to make sure I'm like fully prepared arena-wise. So far, the Burning Revelation performed beautifully on the other 2 Sentinels, so I had high hopes going into Poltergeist and Ceaseless Void. I was pretty ecstatic right now, considering how awful Yoyos had been up until this point. Let's fight Ceaseless Void. Oh, this phase might be a bit hard. Oh, shouldn't have put the platform there, I don't think. I'm not gonna die to the first phase, no way. Don't use Yoyos, ever. Maybe for this it'll be fine. Okay, not bad. For this I can't really do much since he's off screen. I can damage him with this. I don't know how much damage he's taking though. That's tough. Yeah, he's not taking a lot of damage. This isn't very good. I wasn't entirely sure as to why CV was taking less damage than Cygnus, considering I can hit them more consistently. But within a reasonable amount of time, I get to the second phase, and with my hundreds of attempts on CV on the last playthrough, I am more than prepared for what's yet to come. Oh no. Oh, black hole. Actually, no, I should be fine. Black hole just screws me over every single time. Ah, can never can never get past that attack. Shit, I got too close. Clean, clean, clean. Oh, green. Yes, I think I didn't get hit. Black hole again. You sure love that attack, don't you? Oh. Okay. I'll go focus. This is final phase. I was a bit apprehensive going into CV's final phase, until I remembered there's an attack where he just camps directly above you. The perfect opportunity to get some hits in. Surprisingly easy. I would have thought I'd struggle a lot more. I should give myself some more credit, I'm getting a lot better. Better at Ceaseless Void. No infinite flight though. I just grappled onto that platform? What? That was like one singular platform alone in this entire haystack. Alright, well that was a fun fight. I actually popped off there. And not in the farts way. I was on an absolute roll here. With all 3 sentinels defeated, the only thing that lies in my way before the devourer of gods himself, the feral amalgamation, the collective of souls kept alive purely by their burning hatred towards the old Duke. I won't be doing the old Duke in this playthrough. I hate that boss in Infernum. Oh wow, Burning Revelation is shredding. Oh, it's beautiful. Just so good, the boss I find the hardest. It's just getting annihilated. Surprised I dodged that. A lot of his phases I can't really attack him in, because he moves too much. This again? Okay. Stay back. Oh no. It's faster! He... Oh, this. I always forget when he does that. And now, yeah, okay. Are we doing that attack already? Wow, okay. And I can still damage you in the meanwhile though. Oh no. I think I realized that not dashing, only dashing when you really need to. I'm dying. Yeah, I fucked it. If I could charge adrenaline, this fight would be over in moments. Oh, that's pretty bad. No, I'm good. Oh, it's that. I thought you was dashing again. Okay, that's fine. Alright, this. Focus. I say focus here, but I'd argue the next 20 seconds are the absolute antithesis of focus and skill. And dashing. That is bad. Oh my days, I'm so shit at that attack. Although this one's kind of jank to dodge, but you're done. What are you doing? Oh, that. Come on, you're on 2,000 health. Just explode already so I can do Desperation and win. There you go, alright. Infinite Flight, kick in. What? Doing Desperation phase to the Minecraft music. Watch me keep this adrenaline for the whole thing. Ah, shit. Oh, that was good though. I only took 2 hits. In the span of about 40 real-life minutes, I'd went from just beating Providence to now having beaten Poltergeist and being ready to go into Devourer of Gods. That was pretty cool. If it wasn't for the Unsullied Flame, the Burning Revelation, I doubt we could have gotten this far nearly as quickly. However, our next Yoyo doesn't actually come post-Poltergeist. In fact, it doesn't come until post-Devourer of Gods. So will the now flickering blaze of the Burning Revelation be able to carry us through the Devourer of Gods? Well, I beat Dog of a Meowmere and much worse gear than this in my Craftless video, so I'm sure I'll be just fine. That is our armor upgrade, 149 defense. As for my upgrades going into Dog, with the Ruinous Souls dropped from Poltergeist, I was able to craft the Bloodflare melee armor. And as a more starter upgrade, I replaced the Celestial Shell of the Affliction, also dropped from Poltergeist, the most underrated accessory in the game, fight me. But before we throw hands though, it would be kind if you could wait until I'm done playing Tug of War with my dog. Okay, Burning Revelation is looking to be really good against Dog. Someone in my chat told me that Waffle Time said the Burning Revelation was pretty good against Dog. And I mean, it's certainly better than a Meowmere, but it's a post-providence weapon dealing post-providence DPS. That's good enough for me though. One thing that definitely isn't a viable option against Dog though, at least not anymore, is the Lacerator, which was dealing almost half the DPS of the Burning Revelation. Oh, what? Okay, whatever. That was a weird angle. What am I doing with those angles? Why did I open the full map instead of mini-mapping? I wouldn't say it's particularly outstanding, but this Yoyo is a very viable option against Dog for a Providence job. Okay, I might need to get Witches, bro. Actually, no, I'm pretty good today. I can just pull this off like that. I say I'll get Witch's Broom every playthrough, but I just end up raw dodging the laser walls like a champ. And as for the main fight itself, I have no trouble at all. GP Nohit then, I think, so maybe I could check out that video. Yeesh, oh fuck, I didn't dash. Oh, that scared me. Okay, Desperation. I'm a bit frightened. Oh no 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 no. Long one. Alright, probably like 2 cycles of that, then you're dead. Yeah, looks like it. If I can charge Adrenaline, that would be beautiful. Not far away. And now the slow one. And that was it. I'd beaten Dog with the Burning Revelation on my first attempt. Good thing I had enough flight time for that. Oh, it might be next cycle actually. But things are never that easy, are they? Oh! 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 Whoa! Whoa! GG's. I'm surprised I got that first try actually. Taking out Dog first try is probably a feat I'd struggle with on a normal playthrough, let alone with Yoyos only. But then I looked at the fight time, 4 minutes and 27 seconds. That's like twice the minimum no-hit length. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that! I'm probably gonna have the worst stream possible tomorrow because this has been the best stream ever so far. Very fortunately, that would end up being the only attempt I'd have to do on Dog. Well, it's safe to say Obliterator is going to obliterate these 2 weapons, so... Oh. I need to make more space. Let's do that. As I said, there's no need to even compare the Obliterator to those 2 Yoyos, it's on a completely different planet. So all there is left to do now is finally retire the Bloody Wormscarf, replacing it with the Nebulous Core for the revive, and get to farming the Moon events, and the Sun event, I guess? Would it be a Sun event? Because it's like the Moon eclipses the Sun. But like, the Moon and the Sun. Anyways, if you, like I, didn't already know, the Obliterator actually got reworked. It no longer fires lasers, and now it dashes towards enemies, or dimensional drives as the game calls it. I won't lie, I did prefer the lasers, but thematically this makes a lot more sense, and I'm pretty sure this deals more damage, which is perfect. Since, you already know, fighting Yaren is not going to be ideal with a Yoyo. I don't think there's been a single boss in this playthrough that hasn't taken longer than usual, but Yaren's going to put all those other numbers to shame. What is this Yoyo do? Why does it get stuck on enemies? Give him a couple seconds to make their way, and huzzah. Yeah, 343, that's good enough. I guess at this point too, I could farm the Yoyos I've missed. Like the Red Throw, Valkyrie, and Code 2. I think those are the only ones I have left. That was true, I'd just kind of forgotten about those earlier Yoyos as I'd progressed through the game. So what better time to go for them than right now with basically endgame gear. Now having everything I need to make Ascendant Spirit Essences, I craft the Cosmic Anvil, then suit up in the Godslayer melee armor. Coolest armor in the game. Let's go. I craft the Asgardian Aegis. Blah, beautiful. Thank you, past me. Then I make the Elemental Gauntlet. Nice. And finally, to top things off, I fight Dragon Folly on tier for Effulgent Feathers. Then I craft the Silver Wings, and to go a step even further, I go and farm for the Bobbit Hook. Wait, how are Bobbits gonna spawn if there's no Walls. Do they just show up on the floor? Why does that bloatfish just eat my yo-yo? Walls on the other side. So this... Oh, you're right. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna need to refresh my breath. Wait, I can't. The pressure is too strong to escape, doesn't look like it. Within a couple minutes of dilly-dallying, I eventually find the bobbit worms and obtain the hook, leaving me ready to face Yaren. But not just yet. With the Cosmolite in my possession, I can skip time to my heart's content till I get a travelling merchant that sells the code to, which sounds a lot easier than it actually is. May as well get the gelatinous pillion, because why not? Couldn't even do your first attack. GG's. There we go, got it. After multiple in-game days and nights, which mind you could have took several hours to farm normally on tier, a travelling merchant spawns, and sells me the code 2. Code 2, there we go. This stupid ass thing, we got it. This leaves only 2 yo-yos left for us to clean up, the Valkyrie yo-yo and the Red's Throw, both of which are obtained from dev sets from hard mode treasure bags. Of course, this means finding the most farmable hard mode boss and spam killing them until you get the thing. Of which the Destroyer is the perfect candidate. When you really sit down and think about the odds though, dev sets have a 1 in 6 chance to drop from any hard mode treasure bag. And that's just for any random one. The Red and Valkyrie dev sets specifically are part of an enormous loot pool. Oh, Leisure? Valkyrie Yo-Yo! There's one, okay. Luck, however, was actually on my side, getting the Valkyrie Yo-Yo within the first 20 bags. Leaving me with just the Red's Throw, one dev set out of many, many others. A figurative needle in a haystack. 74 destroyers. As I slogged through every single battle, I'd slowly honed my method of farming. 131 destroyers. Until I got to a point where I was so optimized, I would literally grapple to the floor, use the War Banner of the Sun and the Obliterator to completely, well, obliterate the destroyer. 188 destroyers. 3-second fights on my average, but if I was lucky enough, I could occasionally get a 2-second fight. I also forgot to mention this, but it's not just vanilla dev sets we can obtain, the modded ones are clogging up the loot pool too. Yeah, T-Mod Loader actually adds their own dev sets, which are just in the base version of the game with no mods installed. 348 destroyers. Maybe the chance to get the modded ones are separate from the vanilla dev sets? 351 destroyers. I got so many souls of might, I'd reached an entire full stack. Line 4s. Okay, we're close. Oh, Red's Throw. Yes. I knew he was approaching. Finally got the Red's Throw. That took so long. That was probably the most brain-numbing grind I'd ever done in Terraria, but all is well now, since we can move on to Yaren, the Jungle Dragon. Okay, damage is not great. Oh, didn't unhook. I dashed, come on, you son of a horse. As to be expected, our damage on Yaren with the Yo-Yo was in the trenches, taking me over a minute to get to the second sub-phase. Not only is the second sub-phase the most difficult part of the fight for me, but also the part that's going to take the longest since he's off-screen the most. It's ironic actually that his dash slot phase will probably be the quickest since we'll be doing arguably more damage with our ram dash than the actual Yo-Yo itself. I'm not gonna die. There's no way I'm dying to this. Okay, easy sub-phase, nice. As long as I go into the second phase at full health, then I have a solid chance of just first trying it. I dashed, come on man. Okay, and then, oh, don't go out there, oh shit, fuck you. At least I had the revive, that saved me. Should have spawned him lower down so I don't... Okay, that was my fault. Sadly, I don't get the sick-ass first try Yaren fight, but this is very doable though, despite it taking 3 minutes to not even get to the second phase. Use it or lose it. Oh shit. Nothing I can do now. Might take a while to get into the first dash phase, but it should be fine. What? Ah, oh, come on, you fart. Close. Didn't see it coming. Haven't used my Now I made it to the easiest but simultaneously most nerve-wracking portion of the fight. All I have to do is time my dashes right and I win. Get weaved on, bitch. Ah, shit. I dashed. Wow. Bruh. Okay. I gotta get good. What you do? What the fuck? Oh wow, I'm on 1 HP. Beautiful. Longest Yaren second phase ever. It was quicker than this in Craftless. Just goes to show how poo-poo yo-yos are. Okay, now I just need to stay inside the circle. And you're done! GG's, man. That was such a long second phase. What is this? This faint melody I can hear in the background. It's hopeful, almost. Angelic. It's the melody of my victory, baby! Yet, it has a dark tinge to it. Almost as if it's heralding something yet to come. Something terrible. As if it cannot save me from the inevitable doom headed my way. So the only thing it can provide is hope. A calm before the storm. Kind of empowering in a sense. Yet completely futile. Now with Yaren defeated, I of course put on my wings of rebirth and get to the Oracle mining sesh. As I indulge in this peaceful expedition before facing the two calamities ahead of me, I decide which of them to tackle first. And believe it or not, I'll actually be going for Escal first. I should be able to make all 3 pieces. Beautiful. A royal helm. The cuisses. Yeah, and the body armor. Final armor upgrade. To be honest, I think this is just going to be our accessory loadout till the end of the game. Aside from Shattered Community. It's not that Escal really gives me anything too notable, it's just that the exomechs give me nothing of value. With the Draden Salt being nerfed into the ground as of the Brainstorm update or Hog Wild update I think, it's completely pointless using it over any of my other accessories. And while my next and penultimate yo-yo comes from combining the Burning Revelation and Obliterator with Auric Tesla bars, there's no Exo tier yo-yo made with Miracle Matter. My final yo-yo comes from Shadow Spec bars, meaning I'll have to beat both Escal and the exomechs to obtain it. Which means the Oracle is my final bastion against both of them. It's over 36,000! You're probably eagerly awaiting to find out how on earth an Escal fight could possibly take 8 minutes and 29 seconds. Well, I'll cut the fluff. This is the attempt. The extravaganza that was my Escal fight with the Oracle. Now, the first thing to note is the Sepulture, which you think would be free with a yo-yo like the Oracle. It in fact was not free. Have you ever seen Infernum Sepulture's full attack cycle? Well, I definitely hadn't, not until now. My main strategy of course was staying as close as possible to him to deal enough damage to get him down as quick as possible. I'd even found a method to dodge those weird explosions too. You start at the bottom left and then go up and then, it's weird to explain, but you have to start at the bottom left. Point is, it's consistent every time. I'd slowly nail down Sepulture to a formula. And now with that out of the way, we can finally begin the actual fight, which at first is kind of uneventful. If you were paying attention to my DPS, you'll likely notice that it is far below average for this tier. Meaning, I have to do multiple cycles of this stupid bird attack. Second phase though is pretty easy at first. Unseen Hand is basically free, then there's this attack which I got really good at. The circle time, as I call it, is a great time to use Adrenaline or Rage if you have it. And then I've learned that that goes straight into this crossbow attack, so you have to get right up to the top left corner. And I should mention too that Escal is off screen during this attack, so you can't damage her. In most cases, after the second unseen hand, you'll just get to the brother's phase, but if you don't, then she summons an absolute shitstorm of that very first attack. And if that wasn't bad enough, the next attack is this, which I've become very accustomed to. Following that, however, is the fucking birds again. Oh, this is getting really stretched out, come on. We need to go to brother's phase. At least that's easier in this phase, though. You literally get punished with bad cycles for taking too long. Anyways though, having an Escal fight take this long has actually forced me to kind of learn brothers and become sort of good at them. This second attack will always be a bit janky to me, but the basic formula is circling around the red one while dodging the slashes from the blue one. Then there's this one, we have to very carefully watch the blue slashes and swoop under them when they start to come up to your level, all the while avoiding the telegraphed ball thingies. Fortunately though, since the brothers are always on screen and they're fairly easy to target, I can take them out within 1.5 cycles. Let's see if I can pull that off. It just explodes prematurely. Leading me to the second half of the Escal fight, and another attack where I can hardly damage her. And by the way, the attack you can hardly damage her in is the Blender. This attack is kind of fine because she sticks to like a certain angle of you. After that she'll do crossbow again, and then go into a completely random attack, which could be crossbow, could be dashing, or could be something completely different entirely. And this fight has taken so long that this track's about to finish, so I need to put on a different track. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Anyways, I don't think the average Infernum player has ever seen this attack in their life. This is what you get if you take long enough on Escal's third phase. This goofy unseen hand that just chases you. There we go, you just have to go really fast for that. And now that's a full cycle, so you are doing this again. There's probably many people that... New milestone, baby! We're gonna beat the fight! First time at Seekers. As you already know, this was somehow the winning attempt, but this is the first time I'd actually gotten this far, so everything from here on out is new territory for me. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Oh no. It's not taking too long. It could be much, much worse. Oh, I did it. Maybe they just despawned because I took that long. Alright, I'm gonna shut up now, I've got to focus. See, that's why. Surprisingly, I noticed that the fourth phase is basically the same as the third phase, but with the attacks slightly ramped up in intensity, especially this one. And my nerves were beginning to kick in here. It had been like a 6-minute fight at this point. And then dash. Yes! Oh, you're kidding me. This again? Oh, get juked, baby! Remember how I said you get punished for waiting too long? She just dashed right into me with no warning. Anyways, now, I'll let you watch the final part of the fight with no interruption, since this is just pure gold. What?! Oh, no! You're dead. You're so dead. You're done now. Oh, it's over for you. Volume warning here, by the way, I get slightly excited. Get absolutely destroyed. Outclassed. Oh, all 58 of you just saw that. Hey, Bob. Did I wake you up? That right there was the 8-minute and 29-second showdown between me and the Brimstone Witch. And how many attempts did that take? 8-minute fight! 8 minutes! 8 minutes and 20... 8 minutes and 29 seconds on Escal. Only 45. But granted, those were some very long 45 attempts. I cooked on that attempt. Anyways, this is the thing that I wanted for the Exos. The Shattered Community is probably the best all-round accessory in the entire game, obtained by exhuming the original community after beating S-Cal. But Cal drops an accessory herself, the Calamity, which most people would just cast aside and throw away, but in this run, think about how Yoyos work. Think about the way you aim them, and think about how that would synergize with the Calamity's effect, providing a damaging aura around the cursor. And now we can 3D render Drayden's buttocks. Make sure I remember to put this on. Let's get it going. Hello everyone, I'm beating Calamity with my giblets out. I pick the only valid Infernum Exo combination, the twins and arrows, then get to scrapping. Haven't fought Exos whoa, they have like a really cool burn effects. That's gonna do a lot of damage. So basically, Yoyos are stuck at your cursor, right? And the Calamity accessory adds an aura at your cursor, meaning you can combine a Yoyo's damage with the damage from the Calamity, resulting in some pretty insane DPS. Not incredibly much, but yeah, okay. That's good though. I say insane DPS, but this is more like on-tier DPS, which coming from a Yoyo is an insane feat. Oh no. I screwed it. Shame. Big shame. Oh, you're in a awkward position. Need flight time. Oh, that's tough. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can get past him first try. And I screwed myself over already. Oh my. Of all the 3 Exos, I expected the Oracle to deal the most DPS at first. However, I soon realized only the head takes damage. Okay, Thanatos isn't taking too much damage, which means I have to aim at the head with pinpoint accuracy if I want to deal any semblance of damage to the boss. Oh shit. Nothing I can do for that. Thanatos is a mech I'm pretty well accustomed to and can hold out on for a decently long time, but after multiple attacks, I'd barely even got him to half of his health. Okay, he is going to take a really long time, but I'm prepared for a really long time. 8 minute and 34 second S-Cal fight? Trust me, I'm fine. Alright, that was my fault, I forgot to move out of the way. As long as I somewhat target his head, it's actually decent damage. Oh yeah, like, incredible damage if I have pinpoint accuracy with my mouse directly on his face. Alright, I thought I'd have to rod, but I didn't. I don't coil him. Shit. The issue here, like with S-Cal and her Sepulture, I have to get through the first 2 phases of the fight before I can reach Thanatos, and then after Thanatos, it's the next 2 phases of the fight. Think of it as like an entire pound of burger meat inside 2 slices of white bread. What can I say? You're done. How about we just wrap this up now? Or my heal's off cooldown. On cooldown. Going into this with... It's alright, I got my heal. Sweet. Except that second slice of white bread is another pound of meat. Come on, jackass. Shurikens again. Platforms? Oh, no platforms. I'm good. Oh my fuck, how... Getting through all of Thanatos had actually become kind of bearable at this point, but I was still struggling to wrap my head around the blender. For the first phase, it's fairly doable, but for the final phase, it just seems like pure RNG. You sure love him, but oh my fuck! Holy shit! Oh, I've screwed myself over a little bit. It's not too bad. And you're basically dead. In the midst of trudging through all of these attempts, I was slowly but surely experimenting and testing out a new strategy for the blender attack. I present to you, following the blender itself like a laser pointer. Trust I'll be fine. I've run out of flight time, that's how bad this is. There were still some inconsistencies with the attack itself, but for the most part, this strategy allowed me to get through. Yeah, this cycle, you're dead. Got you. Okay, well, fight is over. I've won. Oh, yes. No, I might run out of space in the world. I can't believe it. At least I know what to do for this now. You just really hug the laser. Like, you hug this part of the laser, make sure you're always moving vertically, and you win, basically. It's a free ticket, look at that. I could despair in an absolutely tragic failure at the very last few seconds of the fight, but that told me exactly what I need to do. To win, I just need to make sure I have enough space in the world. And to do that, I need to lead these mechs as far to the right side of the world as possible. Now, I know the trick for this phase now, so it should basically be free. Well, as free as an Exo's phase can be, you know? Oh wow, I literally have the strategy. That's so beautiful. Alright, as far to the right as humanly possible, I need to be. Integer overflow. 2.147 billion. Watch this. I've done him. How did I mess up that badly for that attack? So, you want to go down? Oh, my heart is beating. I beat him! I beat him! The nefarious tree. I beat him! Yeah, boy! Can you beat Calamity Infernum using yo-yos as your only weapons? Yeah, you can. But there's still one more thing I need to clean up. Hell yeah, Drayden, I smoked your shining buttocks. Oh, sorry, bud. Get off my screen, you bastard! I'm trying to craft some shit. Thank you. With the Exo Prisms obtained from the Exo Mechs, I can craft the Drayden's Forge, then combine the Exo Prisms with Ashes of Annihilation to create Shadow Spec Bars, which in turn can be used to make the final Yo-Yo, the Ozophoth. It's right here. And we've completed the journey. You're trash, buddy! Oh yeah! There you go. Put them all in weapon racks. What do you think this is? All the way from the beginning. Ozophoth. With the final yo-yo now in my hands, I attempted the end of playthrough ritual and tried boss rush, but did my my game just crashed. Oh, I'm not doing that again. Oh no. So, rather than doing that, for my B-roll footage for the outro, I instead set off of refighting the final two bosses. Thank you so much for watching this video as always, and another thank you for the blistering amount of support on the iframes video. I was expecting it to pop off, not gonna lie, but you've all blown my expectations out of the water. You guys are single-handedly helping me get through uni, and allowing me to spend as much time as possible making even greater videos. So for that, what can I even say, except thank you. If this video made your day better, subscribing would make my day a lot better too, and if you want to support my channel directly, my channel memberships are available too, starting at £1 a month. My Discord server is linked in the description if you want to get even more direct updates on my videos and talk about Infernum or other stuff, I guess. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, catch my streams every once in a while if you want to see more stuff, and I will see you in the next video.
Goodbye!